Okay, so let's just cover some margins and paddings in CSS, right? We will cover some margins and paddings. So we just create a div with the ID of block. There it is. And if I just go to my CSS file, we're just learning some paddings, margins, and paddings and borders. These three, we'll just try to cover these three things. And this, we can say these three properties in CSS, right? Okay, so we have right here a div with the ID of block. So how we can refer ID right here with a hash sign, with the hash symbol, which is block, and then we can just write with 300 pixels, height 300 pixels, and then the background color would be color, which color you want to use. So let's go to flat UI colors real quick. And this time I want to use some kind of this color, which is better, I think. Save, refresh, there it is. And these are pretty colors, right? Okay, so we'll cover margin and padding. First, let's cover the margin. Margin is a property which adds spaces out of the box, right? Outside of the box. For example, if I just add 100 pixels margin, so what it does is it will add 100% margin on the all sides of box. For example, let me just change the color of my tool real quick. Let me just make it black. Okay, so it adds 100 pixel from right, 100 pixel from bottom, and 100 pixel from left, and 100% from top, right? You can just this is the, you can see external spacing with the help of margin. We can just add one side margin as well. So if I just say 0 pixel from top, it will basically work clockwise. So 0 pixels from top, 0 from right, and let me just add, for example, 100 or 50 pixels from top, 0 from left, and 0 from bottom, and 0 from left. So what it does is it will only add 50% of 50 pixels of space from the top, from the top side, right? And we can just change the values if we want to, or we can just use the margin direct properties, just like if I just say margin from top 10 pixels, it does 20 pixels. You can see if we added 90 pixels, there it is. And if we want to add some kind of, for example, margin top, or we can say margin left 50 pixels, there it is. Or we can say margin right 40 pixels, so it will add 40% margin right here. And if you just say, for example, margin from bottom, which is 40 pixels, of course, and if you just console it, and if you just go to inspect, and let me just add this time right here and then check, there it is. You can see if you just click here, you can see this line is the margin, this is the padding, and this is the padding. Green line is padding we have, and this is the padding. We don't have any padding right now, but we have some margin. You can see it right here, and we can just check the margins, default margins right here. So we can see the yellow area, orange area is blinking, it is our margin, and this is the area of our margin on the box, right? Okay, so that's how we can work with margin. And then we have padding, right? Okay, if I just go ahead and create a new div inside our block, and I just call it ID of block 2, and let me just make it empty for now, just like that. Okay, let's go to style and then call the ID, which is block 2, and which contains width of, for example, 300 pixels, height 300 pixels, and if I just add some background color, which is, again, if you just go to flat UI, and then let me just copy this color, which I like the most, there it is. Now you can see basically we have two boxes, but it's kind of overridden. It's on the top of the block 2. If you just kind of change the size of the width so we can see the boxes, you can see we have inside a box, right? So how margin padding works, if we just add, for a quick note though, padding is our internal or space inside the box. So we can say, for example, 100 pixel padding, and we just got a little big space right in the box. And if I just add padding right here, and we get padding right here. So that's it. So now you can see we just got some spaces around our, let me just change the color, around our box, right? So this is the spaces inside the box. 100 pixel from left, 100 from top, and 100 from left, and 100 from bottom, or from right, sorry about that. So we have 4 kinds of spaces from 4th side, and we can just, as like we just add margin, we can just say, for example, padding from only left 100 pixel. This is the padding from left 100 pixel, and we can add a padding from right, which is 100 pixels. Just like that, we have space, extra space between here. Now you can see we are just getting kind of green line right here, which is for padding. We can just say, hey, just get me the padding of this box. So if you just hover right in this area, so you can see this is a padding, this is a border we don't have right now, we will create, and this is the margin, right? And so that's our padding, how it works: padding left, padding top, padding bottom, padding left or right. And we can say padding to 0 pixels from top, 0 from left, 0 from right, but we need 50 pixels from bottom, from left this time. So there it is. We just got some 50 pixel padding, 50 pixels padding from left, right? And for example, I need 50% of 50 pixels right now. Not percentage, we do not work with percentage. And I need 50 pixel of padding on the bottom of the box. So what can I do is, I'll just go to my text editor, and then this is top right, and then we have bottom right here, and we want to add 50 pixels. There it is, it added. And I also want to add 50 pixels of padding on the right side and on the top as well. So what I have to do is go to my text editor and then make all of them 50 pixels. There it is. Or I can just say padding 50% from 4th side, or I can just say padding from top, left, right, and then you need to define the widths. So that's how our padding works. And finally, let's just cover real quick borders. Okay, let me just get rid of box 2, which is okay. And then I want to add some borders. So if I just say border 5 pixels solid, and let me just choose a color again, this time red, so it would be visible more. Copy and paste. There it is. You can see we have some kind of border this time. And if I just hover right here, you can see we have a border of 5 pixel. If I just increase this 10 pixel, there it is. You can see the border has been increased. So this is our borders, how it works. And I can say, for example, border has many styles. This is solid, and we can add dashed border just like that. Let me just change the color so it looks more visible. Isn't it better? Just like that, right? And we can add, if you just increase the size, dotted border just like that, right? So we have options for change the style of border, and we can just go here and check the dictionary. There are a lot of border style types. For example, we just added dotted, and we added dashed or outline or anything. There are a lot of many properties for adding border, right? The solid is a simple solid border. Okay, so that's how our border works. And we can still use border properties like border width. We can just define it by individually. For example, 20 pixels, it will override it, make it 20 pixels. And then I want border style to be dashed just like that. And finally I want to border color just like this time. For example, let me just write yellow, and if I just get rid of that, that works exactly the same way. There it is. Okay, so that's how we can work with margins, paddings, and borders. In our next video, we'll talk about some kind of display properties, floats, and positioning.